time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, he's back from the dead. Your show. Putting it on the map, yeah. Saskatoon. Right next to New York. New York. Yeah, what show, yeah. Your show. What time is it? Your show. Yeah, time to talk some shit, yeah. Your show.
You've tuned in, yeah.
Yeah, fun Maggie. Bark, bark, wolf, wolf, move on to treat, yeah. Keep listening.
All right, welcome to the Friday edition of your show. What a week it has been. I hope you haven't flown away like most people out there. I was out the Willows this morning, golfing with my dad and my brother. And you want to talk about like being in Scotland. It was basically, we were out there, man. We were out there at the British Open. The windiest I've ever golfed in my life. And it was so fun. So hopefully, again, you haven't ended up in Kansas or anything like that as the wind continues to blow. But the weekend is so close. We are so close. And it's been a great week. And we're about to make it better for you because it's almost like clockwork now. Like she's like trained to do this. The reason we're all here is to check out the Maggie Cam. Look at her. God, is she not the most beautiful puppy you've ever seen? I totally get why Leroy's dating her now. By the way, the Maggie Cam for our good friends over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer. Mike and Rochelle and their dog Leroy, yes, who just so happens to be Maggie's boyfriend. Look, she even gets excited when I say his name. You like Leroy, Marge? You a big Leroy fan? Uh-oh, there might be trouble in paradise. I'm not sure. Either way, the best pet store on planet Earth, okay? They take such great care of you, be it treats or even outfits. Her straight out of the dog park shirt just got washed, and we're going to wear it all weekend long because she absolutely loves it. They got all the toys, everything waiting for you over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer. Be sure to go by and say hello as your day always gets better. That's how it works around there. Around here, Fridays are usually a big recap, if you will, a party, a whole lot of fun as we wind down from the week that was. We get stop-bys from the Commander Cookout podcast crew, that being Network Ryan and Uncle Brando. As well, we get stop-bys from the Past Our Bedtime podcast crew, and we decided to do a little previously recorded segment today as they had to go out and do a bunch of stuff, and they also, well, I'll just let them explain it because it's very, very humorous. So please enjoy this previously recorded segment with the Past Our Bedtime gals. Chill out.
Hi. Welcome.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
It's Past Our Bedtime. As you can see, we got a super fan here for the berries hanging out. Her name is Brooksy. Her co-host, Hardcora, over on the side. What's she representing today? Cats. That is a sick shirt. What's it say on there? They told me I could be anything. I became a burrito.
I became a burrito.
And I just got my silly Super Kick Club shirt. I feel like I should have dressed up for this.
Yeah, we
just filmed.
We just filmed a podcast.
Yeah, I heard it went well. You guys did really good.
None.
Game changer.
None of that.
No?
We filmed 2 podcasts today, and none of them had audio, so we won't have a podcast for the next 2 weeks.
Yes, you will. We're going to figure out what we can do. You got to post something.
We're so busy the next 2 weeks, both of us.
Okay, I'll take care of it.
Like maybe we might be able to do no, there's no way, because I was gonna film the one for this weekend, like edit the one for this weekend, and then I'm gone all next week camping.
Yeah.
And then I was gonna edit it right when I got back from camping, the next one.
Could we film when you get back from camping? What day do you get back? Thursday?
I get back on Thursday. We could film Friday.
Interesting.
Anyway,
This is very intriguing stuff.
So we had an issue, and so today we're going to talk about maybe some of the topics we're going to talk about on our podcast.
I was going to say, I think it would be great if we took the topics that you had and just did our own Past Our Bedtime right now on this lovely little Friday.
Wow. Perfect. Well,
so take it away. I am now a guest on the show. I guess you do the welcome. Go ahead.
All right. Welcome to
Past Our Bedtime. And then we cheers.
You did it. Cheers, everyone.
You guys got those.
Yay, and then you take a little sip.
Mm-hmm. What are we going to talk about today, Wendy?
Oh.
Today we're going to talk about events.
And event planning.
And
event planning is your specialty.
yes. And you know
Wow,
what?
I'm
It's
ready to
good
learn.
to have you here because I know that you don't really like events, but you've been to some,
Been to way too many.
and you can talk about your side of the experience
Can't wait.
and why you might not like events.
Well, we should give some background. Both of us took event planning or program planning in college. And so,
Event planner.
Yeah.
we have lots of experience doing it
Yeah, we
within
talk.
our roles.
Yeah.
What goes on in event planning school?
Oh, so we had to plan like events, like big events. So there was like real life events. It wasn't just a paper. You actually
course,
planned an
yeah.
event.
Okay.
So one was our graduation, one was like a run, and one was a fundraiser. So I was on the fundraising team, and we fundraised money for Canine Dog Rescue.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and we
Okay.
were
And then
having a dog fashion show.
double in,
Yeah, and we called it Hollywood Paws of Fame.
triple in.
And we had like silent auction, 50-50. And I was telling Cora how hard that class was because
It wasn't hard for me.
it was hard. It was like there's so much information you had to like take in and like remember. And then we had to do this like booklet that was like 500 pages long. I think that was the hardest part.
Ugh.
And it was just like,
Gross.
It was a binder. It was an event binder, and so it came in sections as to like risk management, timelines,
Too much.
all this other things. Well, I mean that's what
Like
you should be doing.
triple space,
Yes.
like 40 size font type of thing.
no, 12
You
times,
guys, no.
times New Roman.
What does that get? Why? Why would you do that?
Anyway, we had
That's
to.
a good
Horrible.
skill to
That's-
have.
Anyway, so
Well, I want to hear more about the puppy party.
it was hard, but
Was there video?
I don't know if I have any videos of
Oh, I
it,
would love to
which
see
was
that.
sad
What an
because it was
event.
so cute.
The event of the year.
Yeah, we got like clothes donated for the dogs, so they were all in little outfits, and we walked them down, and
It's like Maggie and her straight out of the dog park shirt that she got. On
exactly.
her latest adventure. Shout out to Pet Plan on 8th Street.
she would have made a beautiful model.
I'm telling you, she should be a model. We're wasting her model years.
Yeah, and yeah, so we got, I think some dogs were adopted after, and we raised a bunch of money for them.
But what was your mark?
What do you mean?
Did they mark your event?
Yes.
Yeah. What'd you get?
Oh, I didn't get very good. Okay, so this is where we come in, and I was like complaining is that it's a group effort, right?
Okay.
And so we had like one group leader who was like leading everyone, and she was in charge of like a lot of like the main things, and one of her job, my job first of all, was to be the volunteer manager. So I got all the volunteers, and I gave them each assignments, and I met with them before, and I give them a paper of their duties and blah, 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 blah. I organized all of them and what
Good
they were
job.
doing. And the canine dog rescue was supposed to come with one dog and one handler, but when they came, it was one handler and like 4 dogs.
That's not good.
So we didn't have enough people to do the
walkout?
The walkout.
The actual modeling?
So then I had to pull my volunteers out of their positions and put them in to do this, and none of them were really happy. So when we got our evaluation back, all of the evaluations from the volunteers and our classmates, the only bad thing on there was that they were confused about their position and what they needed to do because they were told one thing and then they showed up and had to do something else, which was not my fault.
Welcome to events. That's the
and,
whole point.
And that's the thing
Yeah.
too. But I got reamed, and it was like one of the only bad things on these evaluation cards. So I didn't end up getting a really good grade, but I thought I
But
did.
that was
pretty
out
good.
of your power. That
I
was
know.
out of. Ooh, I
But-
don't like that.
But that's all you can do. You
got
know what?
some
I still passed the
words for your-
class.
I got some
just
words
passed
for
the
your
class,
teacher. This is ridiculous.
But I had a lot of fun doing it, and I still learned so much. Like,
Did the puppies get to walk the runway?
yes, and
What
everyone,
kind of human being doesn't want to walk a puppy down a runway in a puppy dog show?
Well, it's not that you have to write some kind of feedback.
Evaluation,
You have
feedback,
to.
yeah.
So if that's the only thing that they can think of, then they're all gonna write it down, right?
Okay, but
So that's like
if that's the only thing, why'd you get a bad mark?
because I was in charge of volunteers, and the volunteers were the ones complaining about what they were doing.
This is dumb. This is all just dumb.
Anyway, there had to be something.
upset
You had to
on
put
your
something
behalf.
on there, and I mean, it is true. We should have had. There should have been more people, and we did ask for one person, one dog,
Yeah.
and they just showed up with not that many people, and that happened, and whatever. And that's just a part of event planning.
Yeah, and you know
Okay.
what? You should be grateful that it happened in college and didn't happen in real life.
In real life?
You know,
Oh,
because you
yeah.
learn from
Touche.
it.
But
Yeah.
even then, like, if it happened in real life, that, like, when I worked at the Rush and the Blades, that happened all the time.
Yeah,
People would
it's
just
normal.
pick
That's
it up
what I
and,
mean. Yeah.
Yeah, and nobody would be like, oh, like you did so bad. This is like your fault. No, it's a group effort.
It's always a group effort
Yeah.
with events because it's such a big thing that happens, right? And
Yeah.
in my role, we do a lot of events too. So still.
Yeah.
And yeah, Cora, you should talk about what your event was because she didn't
Let's
do
hear
the
it.
puppy
I'm
run.
ready. Yeah,
Well,
I'm
the
ready for
college
this.
one is like whatever. We did a 5K run, where people who were running dressed up as superheroes, and then we had villains chasing them, and we had volunteers that were villains.
In the
And
middle
what
of
did
winter.
what did you call it?
Superheroes versus villains run. But the event that I want to talk about is the one that I worked. I worked in a small town, just a couple hours out of Saskatoon, as the director of Parks, Culture, and Recreation, and we brought
Parks and Rec?
Yeah.
Parks and
Very
Rec.
fun.
And we brought in the Montreal Canadiens alumni team to play our rec hockey team. And all the money raised from the event went towards, 3 of the organizations in the community. I think it was Minor Hockey, a food bank, and someone else. But we auctioned off like positions, like to play on the team. We auctioned off like a bodyguard for the Montreal Canadiens. We auctioned off like spots in the bleachers, like best seating and stuff like that. And all the money raised went to
With
community.
auctions, I feel like anytime I've been around auctions for human beings, they never go well.
Why? What's your experience?
Well, no one ever pays. It's always so embarrassing because people go up there and then they're like, all right, start the bidding at $100. And then it's just dead. And the guy looks or the girl looks around and is like, oh boy.
Are you
It's
like
all right,
talking?
let's bring it down to $75.
Are you talking about like when a person's up there?
Yeah.
and you're-
Yeah.
Oh well, I think this is different because you're auctioning for like there's like a bodyguard position and people want.
So
be
that's not
in
someone's
it.
not actually on the stage.
Yeah.
I see what
Whereas
you're
like
saying
when
now.
you're auctioning for people, that's
what
super
I don't
awkward.
like
That's
that.
like when I get
Ugh.
caddies
Yeah.
at the golf course and we're like,
Good luck.
and then you're like, yeah. I remember going to the fundraiser. I can't think of it right now, but we had to auction for caddies, and this one guy every year always brought a backpack filled with things, filled with alcohol, bubbles, glow sticks, sunscreen, like
Like
every
a caddy?
Porta party.
like the
right
caddy.
there,
And
yeah.
where was this? Like what event or what?
I was
where
a
were
golf tournament to raise money for Make-A-Wish Foundation. That was
like
it.
in Rostern?
Very good.
And
Or where?
no, here in Saskatoon.
Okay.
I forget which golf course. It'll come to me just like the other one did.
Of
But
course.
anyway, and he would like go around and show all the tables like what was in his
going on,
bag.
yeah.
And he would always get bidded, like people would buy him for like $2,000 and everyone else would be gone for
See,
like
that's what you got to do.
$200.
That's it.
And
yeah.
he really sold himself, and he
Yeah.
was
You
like,
have to.
"Yeah, he's like, I have this," and in his bio, he had all this stuff and all the reasons. He had umbrellas,
He's prepared.
like everything you could
Yeah.
possibly think of when you're golfing, and more. He had, and I think that's the trick. So if you're ever being sold again,
Sell yourself better.
Sell yourself
I guess that's like a story of my life. I think I've never been one to sell myself.
I can't get into sales either. Like just pay me for a job. Pay me to do a
Yeah.
job. Like I don't want to do sales. I could never.
I don't know. I feel like I could maybe do. I did sales a little bit when I worked at the Rush and the Blades, so. I mean, I think I could do it. I've never been trained in it, but I made a lot of money while I was there.
I will tell you one thing. We could definitely use a salesperson around here.
There you go, Andy.
Well,
If you want to add to the resume, we'll be happy to get you out there. I think you'd be fantastic. I didn't even think about that until this very second.
I'll be selling. I'll be
We
selling
need
this
someone.
and myself at the same time.
And your soul. 'Cause you'll be
and
so
my
busy.
soul,
That's
because
it,
I'm
yeah.
now a salesperson.
But you will
Sorry,
also.
Brad.
But you, I didn't want to say anything, but I feel like you have someone right there who's very good at sales
No,
that could
he's
probably
really
show
good.
you the ropes. A
But
little
he's
bit.
really good at it.
He's amazing.
He is, and that's how I think he got me to be his wife.
He sold ya.
He sold me
Sold
right
ya.
at the beginning. He's like, I might have 3 kids and be 11 years older than you, but you're gonna marry me.
And the greatest dude ever.
Honestly,
It's not
That
hard
was
to
it.
sell when you're as sexy and sweet as Brad.
yeah. When you have like a really like, I think that's why Brad does so good is because. Like there's some salesmen, especially like car salesmen, not like there's
Sleazy.
some, not everyone's the same, but they're
Yeah.
so like
Yep.
sleazy
Yeah.
and like you can tell and they're like mean about it. Whereas Brad, I think, has like really good like intentions.
And you can tell that's the difference. That's why people like dealing with him because he's not going to chase you with a bat. You know,
Yeah.
he's not going to take out your kneecap.
No, 100%.
And that's like
He's
half
just
the
so
battle.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's trained you enough and you're ready. So we're going to give you some leads and we'll see if we can make some sales around here.
Okay.
I even made a sale. You know, I made a sale
How?
Today? When?
yesterday. Hammer Time Roofing. Stop. Hammer Time.
Oh, nah, nah,
Hello
nah,
to
nah.
Kevin.
Nah,
Hammer
nah.
Time Roofing.
Nah, nah.
It's going to be starting next
That's
week. We got a banner going up. Yeah, so he's
for
coming
you.
in for a couple months until winter time because obviously you don't do much roofing in winter time. So
Yeah.
it was hard. Sales are so hard. That's what I'm learning. I have all these people that we talk to, and then, you know, you open up the communication, you go back and forth, and then everything just sort of goes. Bloop.
So
and then Network Ryan yells at you and says, "What the hell? What are you doing? Why aren't we on this?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm not a salesperson."
did you like in this book? Is there anything about sales?
Not about sales, but about team building.
Oh, so you could
And
build a
bonding.
team of.
Have you not noticed
He's
how
just
tight this team has become
advertisers.
here, you guys? Like, we're a family, and it's because of this book right here. Shout
It's
out
a
to
good
our
book.
Wednesday guest from Australia. Teams that swear by each other, not about each other.
It needs to go on some sort of audiobook so I can listen to it. I do a lot of driving.
It's really good. Like, he does it so well in that you read it and you learn, but you're not like, ugh, like you're not understanding anything. Like, everything
Yeah.
makes sense, even to me. And he breaks it down, so it's like, basically, he'll say, like, one chapter will be all about how, you know, opening up to your team will form a bond, because obviously it's like you're talking about stuff that doesn't normally get talked about, and then everyone wants to go to bat for each other. It's really cool. There's so much that I'm learning in there, and a lot of stuff that I was doing wrong and that we've sort of fixed and that has become better, because as you can tell, this place is rolling right now.
Yeah,
We are
we're a
rolling.
dream
Did you
team.
guys
It's a
tape
lot of fun.
Wendy getting beat in Nintendo 64?
Actually,
It's on there.
I went to go look at the Twitch stream to see if I could see it. I don't know how Twitch works though, and I couldn't see anything on Twitch. So then I was
It's-
like,
I'm pretty sure it's saved on the laptop. I need to get LB to show me where to find it, because
It's bad.
it's going to be just 5 minutes of Brooksy freaking out.
That's exactly what I'm
Freaking
imagining.
out, making up every excuse, telling us how she hates everyone.
I was like,
Controllers don't work. You're so
okay,
cheap.
no,
Everyone's
the
ganging up
controller,
on me.
the
This is
controllers don't work.
bull.
Wasn't me. That was Ryan the whole time. This controller
That was
sucks. You have the only good controller.
It's going to be a really good highlight reel.
Anyway, but I did say a lot. Like once we started doing the teams, I was like, it's because I'm sitting up here, or
Yeah.
it's because I didn't use Kirby, or like I was just like
Excuse
It
after
was just
It
the
was-
stupidest
Makes
things.
sense.
It was very humorous.
But yeah, but at
Very
that point,
fun.
I thought I was just being funny, which
And you did win a lot.
I did win a lot. Well, yeah. You know who else surprisingly?
Or not.
Noah came in.
The Phenom.
This
got
young kid who's
experience.
probably never played Nintendo 64 in his life. I don't even know. Came in and he whooped our butt with Jigglypuff, like the stupid.
I don't know what any of these are.
Oh my god!
It's a character?
Yeah, he's like a stupid
I have
Pokemon
no
that
idea
like
what you're
sings
saying.
people to sleep.
But he played Super Smash 5 and 6.
Yeah.
So he had some experience, just
It was
not on the lower level.
It was just so wild, and I kept on getting so mad at him. You could hear me a lot being like Jigglypuff. Like, I was so mad. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna find that tape. That's what needs to be done.
Yeah, it was
I want to
good.
know how the race went, the superheroes versus villains race.
Oh yeah.
Wendy doesn't have a good experience because she was a volunteer. and
See,
she
the
was-
volunteers never have a good experience.
she
I
was
think
just
is what I realized.
This is not a good commercial for volunteering. Like
No,
we are
it's
all
not.
about
I like
volunteering.
volunteering
Yeah,
still,
it's
even
very
after
important.
this.
Whoever was leading the run, I was inside and I was running things inside, so I wasn't outside. But whoever was leading the run, so like the pace bunny, went the wrong way.
The pace.
Yeah.
bunny.
That's what
The-
they're
the
called.
Yeah,
pace-
no, I get it. It's like the the greyhound races. They
The
put a bunny
Pace
open.
Bunny also like didn't live in Saskatoon, like come from Saskatoon. She came from Regina, so I don't think she like knew which
What
way
was,
to go.
what was she dressed up as?
I don't even
I
remember.
don't know,
It was so
probably
long ago.
Superman or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It
I'm
was
trying to
so
think
long
what would be
ago.
a good superhero to chase.
But basically, what had happened?
Not the Flash. That'd be bad.
The event, I think itself was like really good. Everything was really set up well, and everyone was super into it in their costumes. It was super funny seeing everyone running in their costumes.
Yeah, everyone was pumped
downtown.
about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it was
could
really
see
good.
that.
But for me, and I was probably the only one that experienced this, I was the first person when you cross the bridge to tell people which way to go.
Oh,
and
the
it was,
direction person.
Yeah, and it was like minus 25. So
I think
cold.
she's exaggerating. I don't know if it was minus 25.
It was cold enough.
Sounds
windy.
really
It was
cold.
cold enough that my phone wasn't working. Like my phone turned off because it was so cold.
It
That's
was
how
Hardcore,
cold.
it
that's
was.
She didn't
pretty
charge
cold.
it.
No, it was charged. It just literally died from being so cold.
You got a lot of excuses. That's for sure.
It died.
Okay.
Okay, so then they went the wrong
A couple
way.
marks off, I think, there, right?
They went the wrong way.
Okay.
And I was the first person that was supposed to be picked up. But because they went the wrong way, the truck or whatever followed them and started picking up the people that were dropped off last. So I was dropped off first.
Oh, no.
And then they went the wrong way, and I was literally freezing, and there's these guys coming asking me if I wanted like drugs because I'm standing underneath this bridge, right? And I was like so freaked out.
Hold on a second.
Yes.
Some dudes just came up to you like, hey, you want some drugs?
They just like were walking by and they're like, you want drug? Like they were kidding around, but you can tell they were all like thug looking. I was like, but at that time I was like,
Thug looking.
whatever. They were probably my neighbors. So I was just like, yeah. So I was just like, no, I don't. But I started like getting like freaked out that it was so cold. I still had my phone at the time. So I texted my boyfriend at the time and I was like, hey, like I'm stuck here and I noticed that they went the other way. And I'm like so mad right now because it's so cold or whatever. And then my phone ended up dying after I texted him that. And he came from Martinsville all the way to Saskatoon and came and got me and put me in his car. And I sat there for like 15, 20 minutes before the racers even got there. And I was so cold. And then I got out and we sent them away. And I was like, I think I'm supposed to wait here for somebody to come and pick me up. So I got back in the car once they left and nobody came and picked me up and he had to drive me to the event thing and I was like, everybody forgot about me out in the cold and I had no phone.
It sounds like
it was crazy.
There should be F's across the board for planning on this event planning.
Sorry, Cora.
I feel like somebody dropped the ball a little bit on planning how this is supposed to operate.
It was just
But did it matter? It was in college.
That's true.
No, and
true.
honestly, that's just a thing to learn because in events, like we've been saying a bunch, things happen, right?
Yeah.
And you have to be quick on your toes to think about it. But even like Cora, because she was in that group planning it, but she was like inside, and like dealing with a bunch of other stuff that was going on. So like,
Yeah, one of our classmates was drunk and she was supposed to be a volunteer.
yeah, and she had to
Nice.
get sent home, and so it was like a lot going on. But
What was her mark? Did she do well?
No, I don't even think
dropped
I
out.
think she dropped
Oh.
out of the class.
right
Like,
after that,
Jeez.
'cause I think they
yeah.
she dropped out right after that. She never came back.
Wow.
And I came back and I was so grumpy and everyone was so happy because they got dropped off last and then picked up first. And so everyone was like,
Yeah.
fine. And I was like, you guys forgot about me out there. Somebody had to come and drive me back. If he didn't come and pick me up, I would have had to walk all the way back there without my phone. And they would have all probably been gone by the time I got back.
Dude,
It was
that
crazy.
boyfriend is like Brad level right there.
Oh, not that one.
No, I didn't mean for that. Obviously, for that one move.
No.
that was very kind.
That was like the only nice thing you probably ever did.
okay.
The whole relationship.
The whole 4 years I was with him. And he probably did it to love bomb me because he cheated on me the week before or something.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Relationships, so fun. Look at you guys go.
Anyway, so that was hers. And then there was another group that did our grad, and our grad was really good. And I think they ended up getting a pretty good mark
Was
too.
that like the final for the class?
No, that was just, we split up into 3 groups and then
It was the final.
oh, sorry, for the class. Yes,
Yeah.
the
Yes.
event was,
Yeah.
sorry. And then they got the grad and they did our whole grad and it was like Gatsby themed and it was at Western Development
Gatsby.
Museum. It was beautiful. Yeah.
Wow.
Basically.
Event planning. And then you went on and you did a bunch of it. And it's exactly what we just all said. You can plan as much as you want, but you're still going to leave someone in the freezing weather. You're still going to have people showing up drunk and quitting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
true.
So technically that program worked really good for you guys,
Yeah.
I think. Eh?
Set us up for everyday life.
Yeah.
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 Not just for event planning, just life as a whole.
Absolutely.
Have you ever
Wow.
had like a time in all the events you went to where like, okay, wait, this isn't an event, but I got to bring up this story.
Here we go.
Do you remember when we went to the Rattlers game together to do the
Do I?
cut-in or whatever?
The
What-
windstorm.
The live on location.
The windstorm.
This is crazy. So we went to go do this live on location, me and Gary,
Mm-hmm.
and everything was set up, and the Rattlers brought out their like basketball hoop thing.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, and we had this tent and everything outside, but there's supposed to be a giant like storm, and we could see the storm coming. And we kept on
It was big.
asking them, do you think we should like move inside? And they're like, no, I don't think so.
good.
Then they came out to come get their stupid basketball thing. And while they were grabbing it, they're like, oh yeah, we were told to take this in because there's like a windstorm coming. And I was like, do you think we should like go inside?
Did you guys like have a tent set up and
Yeah.
tables
Yeah, a
and stuff?
tent, and
Okay.
Gary
Yeah,
had
the
a
whole
bunch
thing.
of prizes.
All sorts of stuff. Everything.
It's so crazy. And as I was asking him, do you think we should go inside too? Then he's like, oh no, I don't know. They just want us to bring this in. As he said that, this fucking gust of wind comes in so wild. It takes our whole tent.
Like away?
Like, yeah, but it was attached. It was attached to this like wheelchair access thing, so it couldn't actually fly. It just crumbled, and Gary's freaking out like the prizes.
Somebody save the prizes.
The tickets.
Everything was flying out towards the gate, and I was holding on to the tent.
We're
And I
all
was like, we
holding
can't lose this tent.
And Gary's like yelling at me, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I don't know."
What do we do?
Like, what do we do?
If only we had an event planner.
Like we've seen Gary like stressed a little bit, but I think that was the most stressed I've ever seen Gary
Well, it's
in my
because I got
life.
jacked up. The thing smoked me. And then I had to like do a like debrief with the team back at the shop. They're like, "So we hear you got hurt." And I was like, "What are you talking
So
about?"
then we had to like carry everything in, and I'm panicking because we have to be live on air. I'm trying to like hook everything up, and usually
Yeah.
that's not my job.
Big scramble.
Yeah, and I'm like on the phone. Gary's like, "We have to go on in like 10 minutes." I'm like, "Gary, I know." It's like, "I don't
You're
know."
not helping.
I was like, "I don't know what's happening." It's like so chaotic.
Oh,
and then
man,
yeah,
that
and then
was
our tent
something.
was messed, and then John had to come and
We
take
broke the
it,
tent.
but he couldn't collapse it or do anything with it. So we all had to carry this giant messed up mangled tent, and he's like kicking it and swearing at it, trying to get it in this giant rock truck. And yeah, that was like the craziest.
I had to
thing
have a
ever.
sit-down meeting the next day with bosses because it like I had like a big cut. Someone like it was nothing major. It
Yeah.
just like clipped me, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Ah,
an
shit."
incident
literally-
report.
And then
took you
yeah,
out.
so then they're like, we hear you got hurt. Like, is everything okay? I'm like, man, I got cut. Like, well, we have to fill out a report. Like, man, it's like nothing. To be more worried about all the shit we lost in the wind.
Yeah,
Really.
like the several T-shirts and tickets
Yeah.
and probably money and.
If
It
only
was
we
so
had a
crazy.
planner, we could have saw this coming.
Yeah. Well, I was I don't
we
even
watched
know.
it. We watched it roll right up.
I don't
And
know if
everyone's like,
that's-
this probably isn't a good.
Yeah, I don't know if that's when I was full time either, but I did ask
Wendy
them.
did say on the podcast today, she's like, nobody listens to me.
I did ask them. I was like, I think we should go inside, and they're like, no. And I was like, nobody listens. I like have all these
Legit.
good ideas, and then
You know why
it
no
goes
one listens
bad,
to her? It's
and
because
I'm
she's
like,
the pretty blonde
I told
girl,
you
and
so.
everyone's like, oh, you just keep looking pretty over there. It's good. We
Oh.
let the adults take care of
But
it.
my ideas are so good.
I know.
And
I
could
always have your back.
name several times where I've said something. I'm like, this is going to be a bad idea. And then it was. And then I have to go back and be like, listen, I told you like more than once, sometimes
Yeah.
like 5-6 times that this was going to be a bad idea. And you still did it anyway.
And not only still did it, surprised when it doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's the big
I
thing.
know. I'm like, how are you surprised that happened?
And then you just have to like sit back and be like, what more could I have done?
People
like, do you want me
listen
to
to me.
take it? Yeah, you got an authoritative
Yeah.
aura to you.
I was also telling Cora though that like her authority at work is like way up there, right? She keeps on climbing that ladder, whereas most of the jobs I have, I'm like just like at the base
there.
level. So
Yeah.
like I have to still report to somebody who has to say yes, because if I was in that level, I would just do
Yeah,
it
just
or
do
tell
it.
the
Yeah.
person to do it. Like, this is dumb. We shouldn't be doing this. Like, I shouldn't need to ask. You know what I mean?
I really feel like you have been pigeonholed in your event planning career.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I like event planning, but it's like too much for me now.
It's
I
a
just-
lot. It's a thankless job.
Yes, and
Yeah,
it's like
you can't be
evenings,
nice. You-
weekends.
You can't be nice.
Yeah.
And
That's what
nobody
it is. You're too nice.
understands how much work goes into them, and they only see like the end result. They don't see any of the chaos behind the scenes.
Yeah, like like even just a Blades game, like it all is so seamless and whatever. But when you like go and sit down after the game, you're talking to the event planner and you're like, these are all the things I went wrong. Nobody else sees it, but all of us behind the scenes see it. And it's just like constantly trying to fix those little things, even though nobody really is ever seeing it. You know what I mean? It's
Totally.
like so crazy. It never ends.
Thankless job. That's what that would be called, I think. Very
Yeah.
thankless.
Very.
Yeah.
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 Shout out to event planners.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually. So my friend Amelia out there.
Amelia, I know Amelia.
Yeah, she's
sweet.
and the thing is she would sit there every time after a game and we would just ream her with things that went wrong, and you just have to not take it personally. I was telling her that like you need a leader in those positions that like won't feel personally victimized. Like I might not be the best for that because I'd be like, ooh, my heart. You know what I mean?
Not you, never.
But like you just
No
need to be
way.
really strong and be like, okay, I'll fix it next time. Like Cora's really good at that too, I think.
Yeah. Constructive feedback.
Yeah.
There's a difference between, negative feedback and constructive.
And a short
Yes.
memory. You need a short memory. You have to be able to let that shit just run right off.
Just forget about it.
You
Yeah,
just, but you need the memory to remember all the things that you need for the event. So it's like,
That's a fine line you got to walk there, I think.
yeah, it's just like, it's like I don't know. I'm not gonna say that. Never mind. I take that back. Word vomited that almost.
Word vomit.
I was gonna say it's like when I take a math test.
You just said you weren't gonna
I'm
say
gonna
it.
say it anyway.
Why are you- No, I'm confused.
When I take a math test and I know all the answers and I write it out and then I just forget everything I just learned. That's literally
well,
how.
that's any high school test.
Well, it's not just high school. It's like university and college, and I don't know if you ever did that or if the actual information stuck in your head.
Depended on like
Even after the third
how
time
I was
of
studying it, but yeah,
I'm going through a class.
yeah.
That's like, yeah, I had to take sport management twice, and I feel like that actually stuck in my mind the second time I did it. So,
Well, here's the big question now. Do you feel like this was close to as good as your original show that you did?
Yeah.
Hey, there it is. See?
I'm
Yeah.
just still so hurt that
The
that
power- You're
happened.
supposed to forget about it. Short memory.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's why I'm not a good event planner, I guess. I don't know. It's like
You're too emotional.
remembers.
You got 2 minutes.
I think I have ODD or whatever when you like obsessively think about something over and over and over again.
Or that's
Yeah.
OCD.
OCD. Yeah, because sometimes I'm like thinking and I'm like, man, I've been thinking about this for 10 years. Why do I like why am I still thinking about this?
I don't know if that's OCD.
That might be something a little bit bigger going on there.
Oh, there's so much going on in here.
No kidding. Jeez.
Oh, my
Event
goodness.
planning.
Yeah.
What a time. This is
So anyway, I
pretty
was
good.
going to ask you for a
Yes.
question if you ever had this event where something big and dramatic happened besides the windstorm.
I think that's a good story, the windstorm
That
one.
was something.
Yeah.
That was definitely memorable with it all just, going to shit.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've done a lot of events,
Yes.
but I try to have the short memory.
So you
So I
forget.
just sort of block them out, just move them on.
Yeah.
Like I did the Fire in the Kitchen cook-off this year. Very recent one, big event. And there was a mix-up right off the bat. We had one group of people who were supposed to start the show who told me how they wanted to do. Then I was sitting with someone who told me what we were supposed to do. And then the person running the whole thing told me something different too.
Ooh, that happens lots as well.
When you're full of all these things you have to do and then you get up there and you're like, well, which one should I pick? Yeah. And then I called out the one team and they weren't ready and they were all in the back. And then we missed like this big, it was like a really emotional tribute and it sort of got pushed around and went to the wrong spot. And then the third part of it went horribly wrong. And I went back and sat down at the table. And the dude, like one of the head dudes, was like, well, at least we got that out of the way. It's like, yeah, we did.
Yeah, that's-
And, we still got it done, and the show goes on. The show always goes on. So
Yeah.
you just go out there and you keep going. And it was great after that, but it was just like, I felt really, really bad because if I was a better MC, I would have went to everyone before and said, okay. Because I went a couple times to the one guy. He's like, no, this is how we're going to do it. I was like, okay. And then other people start telling you, and then right before it's time to go, then they hand you a mic and you're going.
But
Yeah.
a good event has like a timeline. And
Oh,
they,
yeah.
they do a printout for the MC.
Yeah.
So that everyone's on
absolutely.
the same page. Everyone should have that
Yeah.
that printout.
And we all
technically.
did, but it got changed.
Oh,
It got changed
that
a lot.
also happens.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's no one's fault. That's the other thing too, because everyone's doing so much. Like it was such a big event. You had hundreds of people, and you were like literally in charge of them too, because they were part of the event.
Yeah.
So there was a lot going on, and it went incredibly. Like it was a fantastic time, but that start was just like, oof.
I think like
Felt
that's
bad.
like the beauty of events almost is like it's so exciting and exhilarating because you really don't know what's gonna happen because it's
it.
like live, just like the show.
Yeah.
You never know what's gonna happen.
never know.
And that's what makes it so exciting. So that's what I feel about events too. Like when I worked at the Blades in the Rush, so much work went into it, hours and hours and hours, and then the day happened, and that's like the most exciting day.
It's the easiest one.
Yeah, and everything could go wrong, but it's like you're still so excited. You're with the people who are having fun, and although you did that wrong, you see all the people still having fun. You're like, okay, like we still made this happen for them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's the best part about events is when they're done.
Absolutely. And then you got to move on to the next one.
And the next one, and the next one.
Yeah.
You gotta give yourself some time to enjoy the one though. Enjoy that you made it through the one before you jump right into the next one.
Yeah. Do you ever like stand there when you're doing your events and just like think like I did this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Like the Montreal Canadiens one was pretty cool, but with this previous role that I've kind of given away all the events. I'm like grateful. I had too many.
Oh yeah.
So now I'm just like, have fun, guys.
Sucks to be you.
Here, do you want my notes from last year? Take
Yeah,
them.
that would be the biggest help is like your notes from the previous year.
Yeah.
Like it's probably already planned, you know? There's
Absolutely.
barely any
Yeah,
work to
the
do
person
once
who
you've
took
done
it
it.
over is my really good friend, and I just give her everything, and she calls me and asks me for advice on things, but I'm really glad that I'm not planning them anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of work.
I've loved when there's something you can go over. Like when I did the year with the Rush, I got like the full rundown from the year before. So I was like, at least I had an idea of what it was supposed to be like. I still just absolutely the worst
Did the
job.
best.
No, the worst. And I'm okay with it.
No,
It wasn't for me.
You were my favorite.
What'd you
He thinks he did really bad because he doesn't know lacrosse, but he was my favorite person.
What'd you do,
Like a
though?
PA
What were you?
announcer. So I was a
Oh,
PA
an
person.
announcer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the guy before, Gary kind of had a hard time getting in there too, because the guy before had been in it since the very start, and
Yeah.
everyone was like super obsessed with
I
him,
loved him.
and they loved him,
Yeah.
but he just like wasn't gonna
It
work
was
there
it was a
anymore.
great transition
Yeah.
from that guy to the guy now having me in there because they needed a sacrificial lamb. They needed someone to go in there and take all the like you're not our guy. It's like yeah, I
Yes.
know, I get it, I understand, and
Yeah.
all that
But
stuff.
the next
So that's
guy,
sort of what we
the
did.
next guy also got that. But the next guy, like, sorry, love the team. I still think you're like the best
Aw.
out of the one
probably
we have
were
now.
the
I would have.
He
I-
was so
no,
good.
I had people sending me messages.
They do that to everyone.
Yeah, but like on the Facebook Messenger during the game,
On
telling
the
me what to
Facebook
do.
Messenger, you said
Telling me
it's-
you're not supposed to talk when they're on defense, and I was like, what? Why did I even look at that?
Now you're like
why?
silently.
Well, I
sitting
never
there.
check face. It's so random. Like I just randomly checked it, and there was like notes on how I was doing and how I was doing so bad. It's like okay,
Aw.
I
Anyway,
guess that's something.
but that's a big thing about being an MC or like an in-stand host. They just
Yeah.
get roasted no matter how long you've been doing it for. Like you could probably even ask Croker some stories. Like
Oh,
he
he
was
has
doing it
some,
for years
yeah.
and years. To the last day he was there, he was probably getting roasted by someone that doesn't
Yeah.
know what they're doing and doesn't realize how hard it is to actually do that job.
That's the big thing is
Mm-hmm.
people you don't know until I never would have dreamed the amount of work that went into PA announcing a lacrosse game.
Yeah, and that's like honestly,
It was nuts.
especially because it's like a game that people aren't typally familiar with. Like the
Yeah.
rules are all so crazy, and the
Very
game is so
fast-paced.
crazy,
Yeah.
and there's
you-
music pumping the whole time.
And you got a headset on,
Mm-hmm.
and you got people over here talking to you, telling you stuff. You got people in one feed. You have two feeds, and you have people there telling you stuff, and then you have other people telling you stuff. And if you talk back to that person, you have to hit one button, but the other button goes on over the whole stadium, and it's just like everyone's just yelling at you the whole
Yeah,
time.
way
That's
more
all it
than
was.
radio, hey?
Yeah,
All
I
you
was
got
getting
to do is
yelled at
press that one
nonstop.
I would hate
button.
that.
Like, Gary, come on, get the crowd going. And it was just dead, and the team's down like 12 goals. And I'm like, I don't even know what to say anymore. I said that literally. I was like, guys, I have nothing left to say. Like, just tell me. I'll just parrot them.
The crowd also has been like slowly like not been like into it lately.
Well, yeah, because they're not winning anymore.
Yeah,
That was
and
the
so
problem.
like it's like a super dead start sometimes, which is like crazy. Or
was
they
tough.
come like later on when the game is like
Yeah.
on or whatever. So I
I'm
feel that.
forever grateful that I had the opportunity because it was really cool to just try
Yeah.
and to do.
And it was
And
cool.
so now you
And
don't want to do it again.
And now I know, yeah, like despise it. I despised it.
I
it
also,
was the worst.
but I loved seeing you come there every day.
It was fun to
we
see,
hadn't
yeah.
seen each other for
yeah,
a
we
while.
got to bro down.
and,
That was true.
and then you met Gavin and
sweet
and yeah.
Shout out
there's-
to Gavin. I should send him a message.
I
I've
know.
been trying to get him moved back here for a long time.
I know he won't.
No.
No.
No, he won't. But he was
But-
the sweetest. He always went to bat for me. I was like, God, man, like, what's He's like, don't worry, I'll take care of it. I'll do this. I'll do that.
Yeah. I hope
He
he
was
comes
sweet.
back and we can see him and get him on the podcast.
I think he would be great here.
He
Great
would.
here.
Yeah, and he's done like a lot of things. He moved away and is with another sports team. He has probably some really good stories as well. So
Very funny guy.
I don't know if I ever told you about Gavin.
He got
but
me. He was the only guy to ever get me to go to the bar. He took me to the.
He went to Outlaws.
It was horrible.
And it was
the
so
worst
packed.
experience of my
And
life.
Gary's like, I can't be here. I gotta
can't do
go.
it.
He's
Can't do
like
it.
just waiting
Like
for Gavin
sober
to get there.
Gary? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah. And yeah.
It was wild. I just remember sitting there and everyone was like in their mid-20s and everyone's crushing shots and just
and trying to
loving
get
life.
all
and
over
there's like
like
young
the,
kids like basically having intercourse in every corner of the building, and I'm just like, what am I doing here, guys?
I
Like, what is
know.
happening?
And he's like, as soon as Gavin gets here, I'm leaving.
Yeah. And he was so happy when he saw me, though, and that's all I cared
He was,
about.
and then he totally did not notice anyone else was there because the dancers really liked Gavin.
Yeah.
And they would like pick him up and be like Gavin and like twirl him around.
dancers
Like the
where-
Like
the cheerleaders.
Rush cheerleaders.
The cheer team.
Yeah, so he was like all into it.
It
And
was
then
fun.
that was his last
That was
night
funny, yeah.
there. And then I have this funny story where he started messaging the group chat, the work group chat, last day at work, and he said, "I'm stuck in the lobby." And me and another person were still awake. We had just got home from the bar. And we're like, what lobby are you stuck in? I think it was like me and Amelia or something. And then he's like, I'm stuck in the lobby. And we thought he meant at SAS Health Center.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, why are you telling
Go
us
back
you're
there,
stuck
yeah.
in the lobby if you're, and why are you at SAS Health Center? In front of the whole group chat. And then we kind of like, were like, I said, Gavin, you're embarrassing yourself. Text me. And
No group chat anymore.
yeah. And then I texted him and I was like, where are you? He's like, oh, I got in. I was like, are you at SAS Health Center? He's like, no, I'm at my apartment. I'm like,
He slept in the lobby of his
Yeah.
apartment.
Boy.
He
Yeah.
couldn't even get in.
so then every time somebody left, like,
he was warm.
or were wanted to
Yeah.
like, or they were leaving or they quit or whatever, or like gave their resignation or are just moving on, they would be like, okay, I'm stuck in the lobby. And then they would leave the chat.
Chat.
I don't know if Gavin knows that
What
we
a
did
good
that.
way to
He
leave
left his
a
mark.
legacy.
He left his mark.
Yeah.
It
It was
beautiful.
so funny. And then every time we would like drink or whatever, we'd be like, are you getting stuck in the lobby? Like,
Don't get stuck in that lobby.
yeah, we never ever got stuck in the lobby. That's just too much. Sorry, Gavin, but it was a good.
He
times.
set a very good standard. That was
Yeah.
like a mic drop.
Yeah.
It's like dropping his earpiece. Just,
Yeah, it was
I'm
good.
out in the lobby.
Yeah, so lots of fun times were had there.
That's
so
it. Absolutely. Well, you guys, I feel like we did a great job here. What do you think? It was very fun. What do you
Yeah.
got over there? What's in the pies?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see what we got for hardcore presents today.
So I was supposed to go camping.
hopefully she still is. We don't know
I
yet.
probably won't be going. My kid
What?
had to get picked up from daycare.
Oh.
She's sick. So I pre-make meals and I made some peach cobblers.
Come on.
Yep, for you guys. You guys can
Peach cobblers.
fight over who gets what. I
Look
brought some
at
for
this.
Brando and Ryan
all
if you
the
want.
This is you, Brando, Ryan.
I got the big one?
Sure. I
He-
think you
he
need
probably
I
needs
think
it.
you need the big one. We
Why?
know what your fridge looks like.
You know, you guys shamed me into doing dishes today.
Aw.
Like, I actually filled up the sink and did dishes because I was like, man, if they walk inside and see this, it's going to be even worse than the empty fridge.
Well, they're good to have for when you put it on the fire, but there's a fire ban right now. So it's the worst when it doesn't even feel like you're
Yeah.
going camping when
That's
there's a
tough.
fire ban. So
That's very tough.
don't put these in the oven. Just scoop them out, put them in a bowl, and warm
Love
them
it.
up.
Absolutely. I'm very excited. Her name is Hardcore. This one here is Brooksy. They are the Past Our Bedtime super team. Even when the audio doesn't record, they still bring
Ooh.
incredible entertainment to you, as they've done right here today.
Yes.
It's a great job, you guys. Thank you very much. I guess you're taking a week off next week? You?
Yes, I'll be gone.
You? You're back? Back,
here.
maybe? Nice.
I might be back on Friday, but
Well, I think you should try because it's, as you know, Fridays are the best days around here.
yeah,
They have a lot of
Friday.
fun.
Yeah, I'm going.
Very
out,
little work
I'm
gets
going out
done.
with my friends after. I'm going on a quest to the wasteland.
Oh yeah, I'm coming, but I don't know if I'm going to be in the wasteland.
You got to tell me a little bit more about this. You're going questing?
No, we're just going out.
You're questing in the wasteland, dude.
She's getting in the wasteland.
You made it sound like it's something really cool.
Yeah, our mission is to find as many cackles as we can.
Cackles?
Yeah, like laughs.
Look out, Saskatoon. The quest has begun.
They'll hear our laughs from miles away.
If you see these jabronis rolling around, or even worse, if you hear them, just run the other way.
No, come say hi.
Come say hi. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
we'd love
maybe
to.
that.
We'd love
Yeah.
to chat with you.
do
Just,
love to
just
chat.
don't get this one to plan an event for you. That's all. She can.
Good
She
event
can. No, you
planner.
were good. You're very good.
I'm good, but I'll think about it for 10 years after.
That's we got to
Yeah.
work on that post traumatic event syndrome.
I know.
hear you.
So I'll see you
Alright.
next Friday.
Hell yeah, girl. Great job today, guys. Thank you again. You are amazing. We love you, and thank you for all that you do.
Bye.
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 All right, there you go. The Past Our Bedtime gals in the house. As we continue to roll on this Friday, there was a Rider football game yesterday. They took on the top team in the East as the top team from the West. That top team in the East is the Cody Fajardo-less Montreal Alouettes. And to give us a breakdown, we would now like to bring in our Rider Insider, the reason the Riders lost. Hello, reason Riders lost. Are you there? Are you there? At least tell me he saw that we called him the reason the Riders lost. Is it on there?
Why?
Oh, it's so quiet. Can you jack him up? I got a little bit. Give me some juice, if we can. Come on, baby. No, did we lose him? Oh, that's just me coming through my own headset. Oh, LB, we had such a good joke for you. We put your name under there as the reason the Riders lost. And then we lost our... Should we do some live engineering right now? We lost our TV to the left of the big TV with all of the camera angles. So we were just trying to do this by audio, but I don't even have you coming through now.
You can't hear me at all?
Oh, I can barely hear him. I can hear you, buddy. Talk to me. I'm going to be like a live on the... Yeah, okay. LB?
I'm talking. How can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you, dude. Okay, I'm not going to say another word. You tell me exactly what the hell happened to the Riders, buddy.
All right, well, basically, I'm not a Shea Patterson fan, and Shea Patterson decided that he was going to play great for the first half and then that he was going to crap the bed for the second half. So our defense tried to get it done, but unfortunately they couldn't. So.
Okay, so I heard the defense tried to get it done and they couldn't. You blaming the defense now? The only thing that's gotten this far? You're blaming the defense, LB?
Oh, I'm not blaming the defense. I started off by saying that it's Shea Patterson's fault.
Okay. All right, well, I can barely hear you, so you can just go ahead and make fun of me as much as you want. Oh, I knew it was going to go there. Now I'm even more upset because you've been waiting for this. You've been saying, oh, this is what we'll do. You translate for me. This is good. All right, so we're going to use our translator, the Phenom, in the booth here. Your guy that you love to hate, the guy who doesn't deserve to even be on the team, you're blaming him for this loss and not that defense. Because, again, 20 points is a pretty good show up for a defense. I'll give you that.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, he did great for the first half. And then on the second half, they didn't score at all. It was a scoreless second half.
Dang. Okay. So scoreless second half is usually a bad thing, right? I saw it half. I thought it was over already. I was like, they got another one in the bag. And then it just didn't work out. Now, is this just Shea Patterson being Shea Patterson, or is this something, a little bit worse? Is this a bad sign? Do we need Trevor Harris back right now?
Well, I thought we needed Trevor Harris back since the beginning. But, it's just the inconsistency. That's just Shea Patterson being too inconsistent.
Nice. I love having a translator. This is really cool. So Shea Patterson being inconsistent, the same exact reason that you always use. He's just not your guy. You wish Jake Delegata.
Jake Dolagala.
Oh, okay. LB's he's a little bit upset that they went with Patterson instead of his Jake buddy. So before we let you go, I would like to know from you, LB, our Rider Insider, right there on the Rider Insider levels, right below the great Jamie Nyballs over on the Green Zone. Where do the Riders go from here? Is this going to be one of those ones where it's like, it's going to linger for a bit? Or is this going to be sort of a motivator to say, okay, like we almost had that one, we got to keep rolling?
I don't really know. If I'm being honest, I think this is a turning point. The last time they lost, I remember saying, "This is good. This is going to be the kick that they need to keep it moving." And then now, I'm not so sure. If we don't, we should have Trevor Harris back. He's on the 6th game, and it's been 4 games without him. So within the next 2, for sure, we should have him back. But I don't know. I think the defense is getting tired. We've been relying too much on our defense. I think we need to bring the offense up so that we can bring a little more. We can relax a little on the defense so that they're not working quite as hard and get it done with the offense. That's the thing.
Okay. This has been great. I actually almost heard him there for a second. That's crazy. I guess, where are you right now? You're only in Victoria, BC? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, we're sitting on the beach right now.
Yeah? Oh, beautiful. Okay, well, you get back to it. You give your beautiful family a big hug from all of us here at your other home. And just know that the Riders lost because of you, and you are the only reason, my friend. Your negativity really brought them down, and I'm very upset with you, but it's okay. Go Riders, go. Live from Victoria, BC, it's LB! Thank you, bro! Woo! That was good. You know, for a Zoom that had no audio and no video, I feel like that went pretty good. We were talking earlier about how the magic of this place is how it's always live and anything goes and anything can happen, and that's just another great example of that exact thing happening. All right, well, geez. That's almost it for, man, we've, such a crazy week. It feels like, all weekend goes by super fast because it's the weekend, but then the week gets going, and then all of a sudden the week's gone, and then it's the weekend. Nothing ever goes slow. It's very upsetting to me. You know what's not upsetting, though, is all of the amazing members of our beautiful team here. I'm going to go for one. Let me know if you can pop up a Duff right here. I'm going to aim it right about there because I don't got the big screen again. DufferinAve.com. That is the place. I got to be close on there. I got to be. Oh, that's so cool. Head on over there. You can become an advertiser, become a sponsor, become a contributor, whatever it is. If you think like us, if you think that the world is sort of a big pile of crap right now and people need to change, people need to be kinder, people need to be better, not just to themselves, but to each other. If you think this world needs more karma, this is the place for you. We say it all the time. We're not in the business of bringing people down. We're only in the business of bringing people up. That is what we do. And we surround ourselves with those type of people. And if that's you, let us know. Hit us up again at DufferinAve.com and become a part of this amazing team, because I promise you, it is a lot of fun. Again, a big welcome to Kevin and the team over at Hammer Time Roofing. Glad to have you on board. You guys are awesome. We'll probably end up introducing him to you next week. As well, our friends over at Aquaman Limited, water monitoring, sampling, as well as underwater drone inspections and so much more in Alberta and Saskatchewan. Hit up our friends over at Aquaman Limited. Nickel Plumbing. I was golfing with 2/3 of the hierarchy of the Great Nickel Plumbing today with my brother and my dad, and it was a lot of fun. And there's a reason Nickel Plumbing has been around so long, from my grandpa down to my dad, then to my brother. It's just great people doing great things, and they care about you. And it's very rare nowadays, it feels like, in this world. That I just ranted about being a nasty place. So the more people like that, the better, as far as we are concerned. I believe now there's only one thing left to do, as Phenom is on the ones and twos. I'm going to pop this thing right in there. By the way, it's huge shout out to Cassandra and the whole team over at Sound Hearing Impressions. We love you guys. Thank you for hooking us up. If you ever need an earpiece, they're the place to go. They form fit them. You don't even know they're there, unless you have no feet coming through, and then you're pushing on it a little bit. But I promise you, it is not this piece in any way. We rolling? Okay. See, I don't even have it coming through here now. Oh, okay. Well, now I'm just worried that I'm having all sorts of issues. But at least we made it through another week. You give me a countdown when we're about 20 seconds there, Phenom, okay? I'm going to start saying our goodbyes to everyone who contributed throughout the week today. A big shout out to my man, Uncle Grandma, the great Graham Templeman, in studio last night. We shot a couple more episodes of Story Time with Uncle Grandma, which is a new show that's going to be debuting right away. Thank you to him. An absolutely amazing dude. To Phenom, as well as Dragon, and LB, the big three in the producer tooth booth. Thank you to you guys for always keeping us on the rails and keeping this show rolling. Even when everything else around it falls apart, we still find a way. Just like love, we find a way. This studio, man, it's so cool that being live, like live shows, this is the best. If there's any advice to anybody trying to do something like this, go live. Just do live shows. You learn so much, man. It's such a different feel, and it's so cool, so just go live. Wednesday, we had Adrian Blars on. Our weekly Wednesday visit with him from beautiful Australia. Tuesday, we had Matt from All the Bands, and he was crushing. We had the guitar going. He was teaching us how to sweep arpeggios, which is always the coolest thing. And we had so much. The Hardcora and the Brooksy, a.k.a. the Pastor Bedtime Gals. Network Ryan, Uncle Brando, everybody involved. Thank you to all of you for stopping by as you did throughout this week and every week, really. And we'll be back on Monday at 4 p.m. because we go live 4 to 5 p.m. each and every Monday right here on YouTube. It means a lot to Maggie. Thank you to you, young lady. She's always hitting her spots. Now she knows it's almost supper time. So she's getting ready to go eat, and she's very excited. By the way, incredible food from our friends at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your Pet's Natural Grocer. We're going to be doing a little bit more, I guess, shooting and videoing and all that stuff in the next week or so as we introduce some more shows rolling out. One Bad Podcast out today. Brand new All Out of Angst podcast. It's an audio podcast. It's so good with Uncle Mike and Matt from all the bands. That one dropped yesterday, episode 3, which is very fun. We bust out the guitar for that one. So have little peeks at all those things as we continue to grow here. And don't forget, karma is very, very real, all right? Be kind. You'll notice good things will start happening to you, I promise. Have a great weekend. Don't get blown away by that wind and don't get too hot out there. And we'll see you back here on Monday at 4 p.m., all right? Thanks again for stopping by, and I love you and appreciate you greatly. You take care.